These are 10 must-know tips for beginner poker players.
We tailored these for you guys specifically to make the most money on the felt. We're the Raise team. My name's Capron.
I'm Gil.
Let's get into it.
Tip number 1, hands that you think are good but aren't. When I first started playing poker, and what I see a lot with beginner poker players is they overvalue hands that contain an ace or a king. A couple examples would be like king 9 off, ace 7 off. Hands like that that'll get you into a lot of trouble pre-flop and make you lose a lot of money in the long run. A hand like ace 5 suited is way better than a hand like ace 8 off. Ace 5 suited has way more playability post-flop to make a straight or a flush, while ace 8 off, even if you hit your ace, you're still worried about your kicker, and it can get you into a lot of trouble. I challenge you next time you're on the felt to fold these hands and play smarter pre-flop and make more money in the long run.
Tip number 2, stop limping. If you're not willing to raise your hand, you should be folding it. The reasons why you should not limp: it reveals the weakness of your hand. It puts you at a disadvantage of other players, and people who are better than you will take advantage of you, and limping will make you lose so much money over time. The reasons why you should raise: it protects your hand, it narrows down the field. You rather play one player than 4 different players. And the best part about raising is that it gives you control over the pot.
Tip number 3, what does your raise accomplish? Ask yourself this question every time you raise. For example, let's say there's a player that raises to $10 and he gets 3 callers. You're in the small blind and you decide to re-raise to $20. What does this raise accomplish? Nothing. Why does it accomplish nothing? Well, you're giving your opponents a great price to come into the hand. It doesn't matter. They could have the worst hand in poker and they'd still be getting the right price to call. So the standard raise, and what I like to do, is 3 times the amount of the previous raise. For example, let's say a player makes it $10 and it's over to me. I decide to re-raise, I would make it 30. The more callers there are in between, the bigger I would go with my raise. For example, somebody raises to $10 and there's 2 callers, I would make it $50 to go. Next time you're on the felt, I encourage you to get max value with your best hands and raise bigger. If these tips are helping you out, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we're gonna be posting a lot more videos like this.
Tip number 4 is understanding variance. Poker is a game of chance. If you get pocket aces, you're not guaranteed to win. A good way to look at variance is sometimes you'll sit at the poker table for 3 hours and you'll never see pocket aces or pocket kings, and you'll run bad. That's part of the game. And then some days you'll be running like the sun. You'll be drilling every flop, you'll be getting everything you wanted, and that's just part of the game. You gotta accept that, and this will help you with your mentality.
Tip number 5, don't let your emotions change your game. Poker is a game of discipline and control, and if you let your anger or your tilt get in the way of that, you're gonna lose a lot of money in the long run. When I get tilted or emotional, I like to take a step away from the table, and I encourage you to do the same. It saved me a lot of money.
Tip number 6, do not give any information away. Let's say you have pocket kings and you raise it up and someone calls you and there's an ace on the board and there's a big sigh, which is something I've done myself. That gives away a lot of information and people will take advantage of you, and that's the last thing we want for you guys. My advice to you is to not show your cards, don't give out any emotional information, and don't do the reverse. Don't try to stare someone down. Everything has a tell. Our goal is to provide value for you guys, so if you do find value, subscribe to the channel. There'll be a lot more content like this. Tip number 7, how to peel and protect your cards. This is one of the most important and fundamental things to perfect at the felt to keep you safe and giving other people information.
Tip number 8 is table awareness. There's a lot you have to pay attention to on the poker table to give yourself the best advantage in the pot.
When you sit down at the table, take a gander at your opponents and who they might be. Do they have organized chips, disorganized chips? Are they leaned back and chilling? Do they have headphones on and sunglasses and they're tight? These are all factors that if you have a hunch, it can really come into play and make you some more money.
Tip number 9, position. Position is one of the most important parts of poker. This is the early, middle, and late positions on the table. The most profitable positions are gonna be the hijack, the cutoff, and the button, which are all late positions. It allows your opponents to act before you, which gives you a massive advantage to win the pot. When you're in the early positions, you should play your best hands because there's more players to act behind you. And then when you get to the later positions, you can play more hands. So next time you play poker, I encourage you to play more pots in position versus out of position because it gives you a massive advantage and it'll make you more money in the long run.
And for the final tip, number 10, is poker etiquette. You should follow these rules while you're at the casino. Number 1, never act out of turn. Number 2, never splash the pot. Number 3, tip your dealer. Number 4, do not slow roll your opponents, which is you don't turn over your cards when you have the nuts. You make them show first. It's a painful time. No one likes it. Number 5, if someone's going through a bad beat, leave them beat. Number 6, do not talk about the hand while you're not playing in the pot. Our goal is to help you guys on the felt make some more cash. Hope this helps you. Let us know in the Discord, link in the description. Just tell us what happened. Did you guys make more money? Did you lose more money? Do we need to adjust this, make some more stuff? Just like chat with us. I don't know. We want friends and we don't have any right now.
Vamos!
See you later.